Thanks for giving me opportunity to discuss with you and share my experience, especially related to the optimization using MSc Nastran. Um, so, like our daily activities have got like a background and a purpose and the objective and limitation. When we visit like a part of our daily life, we visit a restaurant and we have got like a regular purpose to go there. Maybe we are going to have a like regular meal or we want to celebrate some occasion. So we have got like limited budget or a time or particular priority which you want to spend time there actually. And if you similarly if you visit a shop and where you want to buy a groceries which is for daily routine and you got a fixed amount of time and fixed amount of budget. When you go to buy a gift, so you will have a fixed amount of budget. Maybe you may not have a fixed amount of budget, but you want to buy the costliest item available or the best item available in the market. So by knowingly unknowingly, we are trying to use the optimization techniques in our daily lives and getting into in terms of engineering design perspective. So optimization is art of safe designing a safe, cost efficient and minimum weight structure. So why I say art, like I'll try to come to the end of the session where I say like why I am saying it art of designing a safe, cost efficient and because I'll come to that point later. So when you want to design a structure with a lightweight structure with high fabrication costs and low part is not one with minimum weight because these are all contradictory to each other actually. So take example of composite structure where you need a high scale labor to manufacture a composite part. At the same time, your cost is going to go up, but you won't get the lightweight structure without it. So similarly, when you want to manufacture high safety margin component, so your weight is going to go up and cost of the structure is also going to go up actually. In the sense like you take example with respect to the military operational like vehicles or the components or the equipments you use there, so you have to design a structure in such a way that like you are going to have unknown loads, unknown conditions which your margin of safety should be high, so that like you design a structure with respect to meeting the mission needs. So moving to the next slide, design optimization, how it differs from the analysis. So I know like you people already familiar with the analysis and the optimization to some extent, but when you take the typical model where you have got a finite element mesh already meshed for a particular component, you apply the load and the boundary condition. The whole intent may be just basic static analysis. You want to find the stresses in the component and you want to compare with respect to the allowable and come up with the like RFs. At the same time, when you want to analyze uh, in terms of optimization, so you have got a whole objective is different where weight is the objective and you have to you should not increase the stresses for a given material, and R is the design variable, that is the radius you want to vary and achieve the minimum weight. So we may think like even though we these two are complementary to each other, but the basic thing what is the difference we need to understand before we proceed actually. So the same thing whatever I explained now. So it is the limitation is the stresses when you are designing for the optimization, and the objective is weight. So when you finish your analysis, you will have a for a regular standard analysis, you will have a one solution. While once you finish the optimization, you will have a multiple solutions for the problem. So and you need to fit the best possible in terms of manufacturability and other criterias you need to meet, and you need to find a solution which is suitable finally we can release into the market. So moving to the next slide, the design sensitivity. So the rate of change of structural response, which is computed by design sensitivity analysis with respect to the changes in the design parameter. That means the you for a given structure, we need to given boundary condition loads and given limitations. We need to understand how the thickness or the radius or the material variables, how it is going to change the response with respect to the overall behavior of the structure. In other words, like in if you take in civil engineering terms, you have got the bridge and you have got the different cross sections. So different cross sections in civil engineering terms, by changing the dimensions of the bridge, like you will see the change in the deflection. So if you increase the stiffness, so you will reduce the, you'll try to see the reduced deflections. And if you like reduce the cross sectional areas and the bending like inertia, so you'll see the reduced like increase in the deflection actually. So if you take in automotive sense, like you want to investigate the change in the cabinet resonant frequencies given by changing the panel thickness. So this rate of change are called design sensitivity coefficients. And these are explicitly computed in the Nastran and extremely valuable in their own way, as they used to predict how the design change will affect the impedance response. The optimization cannot be performed in Nastran without having this design sensitivity information available. So this is the one of the major step for the Nastran, that to have this data like computed and then it proceeds with the optimization. So moving to the next slide, design sensitivity and optimization. When we see to modify the design, the level of structural complexity exceeds our to make approximate design changes. The design sensitivity and optimization can be used. So coming to this point, like we have got like assume we have got like a rod and we have got one axial load to that one, and there is only one parameter which is varying is the cross sectional area, and you know the load is limited. So you can simply change that particular parameter based on the allowable and get the minimum area what is required to solve the problem. So that becomes simple. But only thing is when the complex becomes 2D with nonlinear behavior and when you have multiple parameters you need to consider in your analysis, then the whole thing needs to be automated to make our lives easier actually. So the aim or design optimization is to automate the design process by rational mathematical approach to yield the improved or better design, which may be like it will avoid the human errors and it will take less time to solve the problem. The whole intent will be to automate it. What we are going to achieve by doing this, so produce the better designs having a better margin of safety. That means like you know what is the failure mode, and with respect to that you are going to work, whether you need to have a better fatigue life, whether you need to have a better static margins, or what is that driving actually. So you know the component importance. Based on that you design your structure and have a better margin of safety. And once you have that one, so you will have a feasibility for studies in terms of trade-off. What does it mean actually? So if like somebody comes with you and says like I want to like manufacture this part with some other material, so you'll get this vague inputs coming from all different manufacturing, because they want to reduce the cost or they want to improve the design because the supplier is not supplying that particular material, or somebody wants to change this material because the the original supplier is like now is replaced with new supplier. So that time you should have, when you have the better understanding about the component and better margins, then you will know like what to trade off in your studies actually. So assessing the design sensitivity studies. So what does it mean actually is like, you know, like some, when you are working in the industry, you have got like you are designing the part and some like system routing has to go through your structure, and they need a hole in particular place actually. So sometimes they may be okay if it is electrical systems or like hydraulic systems or fuel systems. So fuel systems or hydraulic systems, the fluid is going in particular flow. They need a particular hole in a given particular location only. So there they won't be compromising. If it is electrical, they may reroute the wires through another, like shift in the whole location in some other way, some other location. But if you have that data, which you have optimized it, so which will help you to make the like uh, options whichever is feasible for you and for them also. The correlating the test data with analysis results for model matching. So this means like whenever we design a part, we need to get certified. So your analysis, whether you have a analysis data which has been tested for your particular material and you allow available for you to use that allowable directly, then you need not have to go for testing. But if you going for testing, so your allowables are not been like available to you, so you need to correlate your testing values, like maybe because it depends on the complexity where you are using. If it is automobile, or if you are using for the aircraft, or if you are using for the spacecraft, so you need to have like whoever is certifying those parts based on the complexity, like airworthiness authorities, or those people wants to see the data, how you generated your loads, how you are analyzing the results, and how you are testing it. And when once you test it, how your analysis is correlating with your like model. So finally, you should be able to judge your results with matching with the your test data. Like I will give you an example. Like wherever when you do your analysis, when you have a boundary condition, you will try to see more stress concentration around your boundary condition point because it is reacting there. But at the same time, uh, but the test data may be showing the failure on some other location. So you should be able to explain that. Means that may be simple one, but you should be able to explain to the authorities because they may not understand the complexity of the model. They just trying to test the data, and they are trying to match the data. Sorry. Okay. So moving to the next slide, using the design optimization effectively. So to use the optimization effectively, the person who is going to do the analysis needs to understand the basics of Nastran, and he needs to be aware of the analysis what is currently using it. So this is sits over the your design, and it may be complementary to design, but it sits over design as per me. So in terms of analysis, whatever, so these are the analysis which Nastran supports. So you need to like basically understand what each individual analysis is doing, and you need to understand the basic format of Nastran use in an effective way. In addition, the design models can be employ super elements, so which will reduce your total degrees of freedom. So you can use the super elements, and proficiency in any of all these disciplines will be helpful. It need not be to the extent of expertise level, but at least the basic level you should be able to understand. Going to the next slide is about the numerical optimization basics. The design optimization in structural redesign using the operational research to analyze the problems in engineering design. So operation research, you may think like why operation research is coming into the optimization. To solve the scheduling problems, we use the operational research is frequently used for routing of the vehicles, aeroplanes, and transport cargoes. Similarly, to allocate the vehicles or at the airports may not seem to be very much to do with engineering design, but the optimization methods implies the similar also can be extended to structural problem. You might have studied the operational research, so where you have analyzing the critical path approach to get the best possible route to like minimizing the like arrive at the best possible route. The similar thing design also involves the optimal allocation of the resource for efficient engineering solution. So we are trying to use that method here also. Like if you take example, the allowable stress for a given material cannot be allowed to assume to be unlimited. They may be restricted with reasonable limits of tested and approved values. So you have to limit your material allowables based on the tested data. So that is all, but you cannot exceed that value. So similarly, reducing the structural mass of the component leads to saving of the material, fuel, other indirect costs, possibly the maintenance cost. So the intent of reducing the saving the weight will indirectly will save the fuel and other costs also, and possibly the maintenance cost. Coming to the next slide is about the optimization problem statement. So now we have basically understood the the variables, the design parameters, other things which we can realistically quantify in terms of a formula in the mathematical expression. So the constraint or objective may either be linear or nonlinear functions of a given design variables. We can use nonlinear techniques to find the optimal solution if all the functions are linear techniques to find optimal solution if all functions are linear and one exists. The search algorithms which can deal with the nonlinear must be used if one of these functions is nonlinear. So Nastran has got both capabilities of using the linear and nonlinear problems. So vast majority of making it to be a nonlinear problem. So if you take a simple example, you got a function to minimize the objective, and you have got a constraint. So you have to find the basically the optimum value which you need to arrive at, and which is the intent. The next slide is about the design sensitivity and the optimization fundamentals. So this is the loop which design loop, or they can say optimization, Nastran implementation of the structural optimization loop, which you can typically we can represent it. So you have got an initial design where you have got an initial model from the designer and it is ready for Nastran user. And once you have got the model, it is familiar with the Nastran user that you create a particularly model which you need to remove all design features and make the model ready for your analysis. And once you have the analysis ready, so this analysis need not be a one iteration analysis, because if you are using for the optimization, then you need to have a set of constraint screenings. So you have to identify the your constraints for your design. And next is the sensitivity analysis. So each type of analysis have their own individual techniques for performing the sensitivity analysis. And this is the first step, and this is the second step, and then you go to the sensitivity analysis. Moving to the once you have the sensitivity analysis and you have to make the approximate model, uh, finite element model, and this needs to be kept minimum actually, because if you have too many models, then you will tend to lose your concepts. So you need to idealize and makes appropriate assumptions to limit your model to the as simple as one or two models only. Then you need to submit it to optimizer. The optimizer algorithms from VRD are utilized in the Nastran, which are the fixed from the Nastran end. So once you have gone through that loop, you have got like totally different model, and which is model based on the results from the optimization. So you whatever you got initially, so whatever you are getting now is totally different model, or maybe same, or with some changes. So based on that one, like you reanalyze and you have to check all failure modes. Like if it is the based on the analysis, you will have different results. And whether you need to check whether it is converging with your data. If it is yes, then you stop. If no, then the sensitivity analysis once again will go on, and then it moves back to your, you need to change your model. Then that loops goes on actually. So hopefully, I think this needs to go on. Then you'll have different solutions and different iterations will be carried. So moving to the next slide is about the design modeling overview using the Nastran. So the essential feature of design model are that we must define the variables that must be modified, and describe the relationship between the design variables and the analysis model. It may be in terms of property or the grid location for shape and design optimization. Identify and develop the resources, sorry, identify and develop the responses that are used to in design. So basically, if you are familiar with the Nastran deck, so where you have got like executive control section where you define the, I think S is missing here, sorry. So it is solution 200 is for the optimization. And similarly, you have got the design variables defined in the bulk data section. And you have got to relate the design variables with the structural variation for the properties and the shape, and define that and design response, and define the objective and the control and the constraints, and the case control section we need to define here. So, and provide the necessary parameter to override the constraint values which are defined in these parameters. So if you are familiar with the Nastran deck format, I think it will be easier for you to understand. So, and what different analysis as for the previous cases, like previous slides you saw, like you might have seen like different analysis which can supported by this uh, tool or the Nastran. Coming to optimization types, the topography optimization is that meets a predefined criteria to find the preliminary structural configuration. This method solves the engineering problem of distributing a limited amount of material in a design space. The best use of the material for a body using a best fit. The optimization parameters and the material distribution function is over the body. So what it does mean is like if you take a bonnet structure and if you apply the load and boundary condition, so you got like load path which is reacting to these paths actually. So you tend to see the like a model which is like similar to that actually. And this is the best possible fit for in terms of like material, and in between space whatever you have that is not taking any load actually, and you tend to you can remove those materials because it's not being used as a load path actually. Similarly, if you take a bicycle frame, so you have got a bicycle frame and you have got a load which is the pedal load, and this is the seats and this is your handle, and you have got like constraint at the like front wheel and back wheel. So how your frame should look like is, even though your model is like a rectangular plate there, or no, sorry, it's not rectangular, the plate there, and then you have got the frame structure here, which is the one which is being used as a load path. So other in between material is not used. Moving to the next type of optimization types, the topography optimization to find the best reinforcement pattern for a shell structure. This is a special class of shape optimization. It's a part of, this is a special part of the special class of the shape optimization. Introducing the stamp bits for the better structural performance can be change the shape of a shell structure and improve the strength. So you got a panel which is, it can be reinforced by other structural members, but sometimes it purpose may be different. So it is better to like have a beaded structure in between that acts as a stiffener and becomes a panel breaker in turn, which will help the strengthen the panel stiffness. So size optimization, and which is nothing but the parametric optimization. This is the simplest form of optimization, and the objective is to optimize the structure by adjusting the geometric parameters. maybe thickness for a beam or sheet metal or diameter for a rod or design variables for a given uh, structure. So if you take any like a structure which you are varying the thicknesses and getting the better minimum thicknesses for the flange and the web actually. Moving to the shape optimization. In the shape optimization, the design variables can be thickness distribution along the structural members and the diameter of the hole, uh, the fillet, any other design feature. The shape optimization, it will not result into the split bodies, but and or create any holes, but you tend to get the better shape actually, which being optimized. So these are all like the one which are defined in terms of like standard methodologies, but there are a lot of more optimization chances you will have in terms of like cost reduction activity, in terms of like using alternative materials, in terms of like what I mean to say is like reducing the cost. It may be in terms of reducing the attachment strengths or improving the brackets, minimizing the number of brackets, because it may be a standard rule you might have used like you may not have used a standard rule, but it may be a typically we would have assumed that to be a safe distance for installing a particular electrical brackets or something like that. But in when it comes to like optimization, it need not fall in this particular thing, but still you can use on the basis whatever we are discussing now. So coming to the like the final slide. So what the design optimized design process overall means. So we have got like time constraint that is coming from the like target for a particular product to be released to the market, and you have got like timelines, and there is a pressure from the competitor. So they are releasing particular product, you need to release before them, or just you have to challenge their technical spec with respect to or the performance. In terms of cost, you need to be competitive in the market. Also, if it is like expensive one, even yours may be better performance, but if it is too expensive, nobody is going to buy it, or like you will have less buyers. So you need to be cost effective also, and quality wise you need to meet all certification requirements, meeting all design standards, safety standards for any given component. So we have got this triangle where you need to balance it out, and so that we can survive in the market. The why I was saying on the initial slide as a art. So when you think your design process, so when you are designing the part and when you are analyzing the part, it is becomes a standard thing, and you release the drawing for the manufacturer and it will go on. But the challenge comes from the customer, or challenge comes from the cost perspective, or the challenge comes from the competitor, where they have a better product in the model, better product in the market, and then you need to compete with them. So you need to take the additional inspiration in terms of handling that pressure, and then you need to think innovatively and like come up with a design solution which will overcome or which will be competent in the market. So finally, you need to have a innovate yourself with a solution and meet the challenges of the market. And this is not one day's task; it is like continuous. So if you want to survive in this today's market, so you will have to think at least 5 to 10 years ahead, and then come up with the solutions which can which you and your company can survive.